Welcome, everybody, to Season 4, Episode 5 of Buzz with yours truly, Mama T. Well, I don't know if you guys tuned in last week. If you missed the show last week, I interviewed a guy we all know and love, and the show wouldn't exist without him. I interviewed my producer, Jeremy Asp, right? Well, part of the deal was he said that if I was going to interview him, that means he gets to interview me. So it's the Buzz with Mama T, as Mama T as the guest instead of the host. So stay tuned for a minute. We're going to hear from Grand Forks Best Source, and then I get to be in the hot seat, apparently. Today's episode is sponsored in part by Grand Forks Best Source. They're a cutting-edge local media broadcasting studio with captivating shows, on-location event coverage, and unparalleled advertising opportunities. Grand Forks Best Source has become a haven for podcasters like me seeking to bring their visions alive. If you're a podcaster looking for studio or platform, or a local business seeking to advertise, go ahead and email Paul at local@gfbestsource.com. You can call him at 701-740-9337, or you can go to their website that's listed on your screen there, gfbestsource.com. Tell them Mama T sent you.
All right. Hey, everybody. I am Jeremy. I am the host with the most, actually. And as part of our deal last week, I get to interview Mama T. We're going to do a deep dive, an investigative piece as to what makes Mama T Mama T.
Okay. All right.
It's the hard-hitting stuff. Actually, last week's interview, it did kind of surprise me a little bit. Like somehow over the last 2 years and 3.5 seasons, that she had somehow learned how to interview people. Isn't that amazing? Yes. So I hope that I can live up to Mama T's standards. That is my hope.
Hey, if Frankie can do it, you can do it. Just saying.
But can he? Okay. Hey, he's if he can roast any one of us and call it a roast. Okay, that's my shot. So let me start where you started last week. Let's say I go back in time, kick down your door. What's in your cassette player? What are you listening to? Well, actually,
I'm going to age myself a little bit here. The first things I remember listening to were 8 tracks. Cheech and Chong, Chicago. Listening to my parents' stuff was the first thing I remember listening to. But my Uncle Gordy, he made me some mixtapes because we lived in the middle of nowhere and I wasn't really exposed to good music. We didn't have any good radio stations, and it was, so what I got was Eagles, Fleetwood Mac, more Chicago, let me think. Ozzy was one of the first things that I remember, like, going out to buy. I went out and I got Michael Jackson, Madonna, and Ozzy were the things that I paid my own money for.
Interesting. So you said middle of nowhere. Where is middle of nowhere?
Pencer, Minnesota.
Okay.
It used to have its own post office. It used to have its own rodeo. It's like halfway between Grigla and Roseau.
Okay.
It's about 13 miles south of Roseau. Or actually, it's more halfway in between Roseau and Winooska, but you probably never heard of Winooska either, so. my my stepdad, well, Leslie, he's who raised me. Um, his family actually used to run the post office slash general store in town that was right across from the rodeo. And then they bought some land next to it. I moved there. We moved there from Roseau. We were there for a couple years when my mom was. She dated. My mom dated one of the Marvin boys, Jake Marvin. I
Okay.
could have been a rich little girl right now, but no. Apparently, he was a jerk or something. I don't know what it was. It didn't work out anyway. And then she met my stepdad, and we were living in a trailer house in Roseau. Um, and then they ended up getting married, and we moved out to like the land that his parents owned. Before that, I think I was 2 years old when my mom divorced my father, and we lived in Wisconsin. So we ended up moving up north where her older sister was, my auntie Bobby.
Oh. So when you're up in Roseau, what did you just what was your pastime? Did you go county fair, go cruising the streets? What did you do when you're
Oh my goodness. Well,
going out and causing trouble?
yes, I did. I did go out causing trouble. I remember dating my first husband, and there was this place they called the Glowing Grave, and we'd go like load our friends into the car with a bunch of alcohol and go out to this graveyard. And yeah, either that or was cruising up and down Main Street. Um, I was in DECA,
Okay.
and our school store that the DECA students ran was downtown. So we would go from the school downtown for that class, and we'd always stop under the bridge and smoke. And then we would always all volunteer. Us smokers would always volunteer to take out the garbage because we could sneak out and have a cigarette.
Seems like everyone wanted to take out the garbage
Yeah, right.
every 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, just like at Hardee's.
Yep, just like at Hardee's. So when you were a youth and you listened to all these music, all these bands and Ozzy and everything else, do you ever, at any point, have you ever wanted to live that lifestyle? It's like I wanted to be a singer, I wanted to be a roadie, a groupie, whatever it is you wanted to do. What was your when dreaming about these people? What did you want to do?
Well, see, it's funny you asked that. I did want to be a singer. I had a solo in the fall program, the Christmas program, and the spring program every year from like first grade until sixth grade. Because I had the same music teacher and she liked my voice. And I remember people coming up to me like later in life, like late teens, early 20s, and oh my God, I remember you. You made me cry, like I made you cry? What do you
How
mean?
exciting!
Little, and you were on the stage and you were singing, and I was like, oh. So yeah, I
Well,
wanted to be a singer or I wanted to be an actor. I always thought I'd be a good actor because, you know, I could mimic my mom's voice and her handwriting, so I could skip school whenever I wanted to. Um, and then, if I had a story I had to tell to my parents because of something that I wasn't supposed to be doing, you know, usually I get away with it. Usually I was very convincing, except I know the one time I came home with hickeys on my neck and I told my mom it was curling iron burns.
I somehow think she knew better.
My hair was curled. No. Yeah, she did. She did.
So when was who was the first major artist that you met?
Met?
When you
Jeez.
finally did meet someone, who was the celebrity? Who were they?
I don't think I met anybody until I was with Bobby. And at the time, I didn't really realize how like famous they were because I wasn't in the blues scene for long enough. But I remember going down to Lebski's and Because when we first got together, it was not even a week. And he said, we're going to the cities and you're driving me. Well, of course, because back in the day when we first met, I was his driver. So only natural, that I'm gonna take him somewhere. So we went down there, and I remember meeting Alan Kirk and George Moyer and um, Jelly Bean Johnson and just Jimmy Primetime Smith. Um, and there was this one time we were down there, and I don't know if you're familiar with George Moyer's kids.
I live under a rock, so
I'm trying to think of the name of the band, and it's terrible that I can't think of who it is. I might have to Google this because yeah, it's stupid that I don't remember it. But we were there one Tuesday for the jam, and George and Alan and Bobby were up on the stage, and I was like, he was on stage, and like it was between songs, and he's like, so that means go get a drink, right? And I kept walking past this table full of black dudes, and they kept winking at me and nodding at me, right? And I get to I like, yeah. And then one time one of the guys is like, how you doing? I'm like, good. What's your name? I said, did you want my first name or my last name? He's like, both? So, well, my first name is Tanya. I said, my last name is pointed at the stage, is Little Bobby's girlfriend. And I walked away, right? So later on, Bobby and I are out having a cigarette, and he's like, I saw you talking to those guys at that table. He says, you know who that was? I'm like, no, why? Oh, that was George Moyer's son, and he owns this band, and that was the band members you were talking to. And I was like, babe, just such so and so band thinks your girlfriend's a stuck bitch. Just let you know. I said the B word, sorry, but yeah, they were kind of amused. They all laughed, like the other guys that were at the table. One of them has gold tooth. What is it? I've got to look this up. It's going to drive me nuts. Hold on a second. It's a famous band too, and I can't. Oh,
I'm sure it'll be fine. So, is there someone that you wanted to meet the most?
yes. I have always had a girl crush on Stevie Nicks. Stevie Nicks was like the epitome of like the girl you wanna be. Like if you want to be a singer, that's who you want to be. It's like she's a free spirit. She's got a great voice. Like she literally wrote a song about breaking up with this dude and him breaking her heart and made him sing it. Who does that? Like,
so when in meeting all these people, who surprised you the most? Like you think of so and so as being this, and you find out, oh, he's like that. Or is there something that really surprised you about anyone you met out there? You'd expect them to be this way, but it actually turned out the other way.
yeah, what's his name? That kid. That kid that plays with Bernard Allison. Like, jeez, I'm having brain farts.
It's okay.
No, we've interviewed him. He was on the show. I can't think of his name. Oh, you know who else was fun to interview? Pierre Lewis. So Pierre Lewis, his whole family was musicians, right?
Mm-hmm.
And him and Tyson Bell, his whole family, the whole Bell dynasty. like Carrie Bell was his dad and was a harmonica player, I believe. But no, Pierre Lewis. So he's got this great story. So Pierre Lewis, had this band when he was garage band when he was in high school, right? And like this story really surprised me when I was interviewing this guy. And I only did the interview. I don't think I've had him on the show yet. I might have to get a hold of him so he can tell the story. But the first album him and his family put out was called The Lewis Connection. And connection is actually spelled wrong. So if you have this vinyl, it is worth a crap ton of money. And I'm going to tell you why. So him and his family are like brothers or whatever, are in the garage, and they need like an extra guitar guy, right? So like their neighbor, he plays guitar. So they invited this neighbor over, and he's on this album, right? This neighbor, this is the first album this neighbor has ever been on. And it happens to be Prince.
Oops.
It was like Prince. It was like the first recording, first album Prince was ever on was this guy Pierre Lewis and his family, the Lewis Connection. I was like, shut up, really? Because he's telling me the story, and it's a big cliffhanger, and he's like, oh, well, this guy, and he just came over, and we're friends, and blah blah, like, who was it? It was Prince. I was like, what?
Well, yeah, even Prince came from somewhere. So we will take a dive into your connection with Little Bobby coming up, how you guys met again, and if there's any way that you probably influenced his career or he influenced yours. All that's coming up next.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
When it comes to podcasts and social media, stick with the best. Grand Forks' best source. Keep up to date with local happenings and news, interviews with city leaders, athletes, nonprofits, and of course, lots of feel-good stories. Grand Forks' best source is a great way to advertise your business or events with the most economical ad packages available. And contact us to find out how you can have your own podcast with the best studio in the area. Check out Grand Forks' best source on your favorite social media app. Grand Forks' best source, the Forks' best local podcast. Call 701-213-0863 or online at gfbestsource.com. We love the Forks. Grand Forks' best source, giving the Forks their identity again.
What's up, Red Lake Nation Radio? This is your host, DJ Soko. Come join me if you're Ace or Donnell from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. every Soko Saturday, where I have a new segment, Soko's Metal Madness Hour from 7 to 8 p.m., bringing the North all the new and classic metal to the masses. The first 3 hours will be the old school hits, the rock and roll classics, and all other genres of music. Even country. So come take a cruise with me, DJ Soko, bringing the fire right here on 105.3 WRLN, Red Lake Nation Radio. Yeah.
Hey everybody. Season 2 of Adulting with Jake is underway, but while you wait, you can always relive Adulting 101 Season 1 and every excruciating detail and every terrible pun, lame joke, and frankly, every poorly acted scene. Out now on our channel, TookingWithJakeShow.com.
Visit LittleBobbyBuzz.com, your source for Little Bobby merch and music. Keep up with the bar, and don't forget about the buzz with Mama T. That's LittleBobbyBuzz.com.
couldn't even smile. No, I know that I'm preaching to the choir, but a piece of my soul will every time play my guitar. Well, you can't help the calls you get. Yeah, when life is delivering from the bottom of the dead. From the bottom of the dead. Now I'm not saying I had it any worse than you. It sure is the grass is green, the home world is blue. Now I'm just another lost soul in a beautiful world where the people so damn cold home. You can the calls you get. All you can do is just your best. Well, just as sad as the day my mama left. Well, life deals from the bottom of the dead. From the bottom of the dead. Yeah, the calls you get out. Well, all you can do, well, is your best. Well, live your life, yeah, with no regrets. Even if life deals you bottom of the dead. From the bottom of the dead.
Okay, first, I gotta rewind. I remembered who I was talking about. George Moyet's son, a guy nicknamed T-Bone, owns a hip-hop group. There was 6 people sitting at this table, and T-Bone was the one that talked to me. And when I went outside, Bobby said, "Do you know who they were? Can you guess by his nickname what band it was?"
No.
Bone Thugs and Harmony. Hey, Bone Thugs and Harmony think that your girlfriend is a stuck-up. Yeah, so anyway. And addressing that video you just played,
Mm-hmm.
that's the first music video I've ever been in.
Oh.
Aww. That was my hand. And that was
Yep.
me throwing cards at him because he was being a jerk. Well, not because he was being a
Well,
jerk.
it's the stressful nature of showbiz. Sometimes you got to be edgy and you got to stay on it. We have a production schedule and bingo tonight and everything.
Yep. And guess who got to clean up the mess from that tipped over table?
So all those
Cards.
years later. So when did you first meet Bobby?
Oh, back when I was like, I think I was about 20, 21. Trying to think of how I met him. I can't remember. I think he was dating a friend of mine. That's what it was. Yeah, he was dating my friend Amy. So I've actually known Catherine since before she was born. Yeah, I was his driver. He had family down in the cities. And, as we know, Bobby was legally blind. And we became friends, and I was his driver. He always took care of the driver. Made sure that when we stopped for food, I got food. Stopped for gas, he filled the tank. It was always, he paid for everything, always. I mean, if we stopped for refreshments, he would make sure the driver got some too. He always took care of the driver. And we were friends like the whole time. We had been friends this whole time. And like I was following his career. Like one time, like my husband that I ended up marrying for 20 years, he went to school with Bobby. So like we used to party together with him and Jessica. Our kids went to school together. Like we were friends the whole time. And like one time we were partying, he like gives me all these CDs. Like, oh yeah, I got this one and this one and this one and this one. Here, you can have them. You can just have them. And it gave me a copy of like every CD he had. I think at the time there was 5 or 6. But yeah, and then he got this bar, and he was always like the whole year he owned it prior to me coming back out. Like we stayed in touch on Facebook and stuff, and like when he posts videos, I'd watch him, I'd hit the like button, whatever. And I left my ex-husband, and my ex-husband's niece let me move in with her because she knew about the relationship, and she was like, "No, you're gonna come stay with me," So I was in her basement with garbage bags full of my clothes sitting around me, and I'm like scrolling through Facebook, and I just randomly posted, "So now what?" And this blind man, 5 seconds later, come out and visit. Like nobody even knew I left Kenny, and I like messaged him back, and I was like, I don't know if I want to drive an hour, from Grand Forks to McIntosh, drink, and then drive all the way back. Oh, don't worry about it, he says. I got a place upstairs you guys can sleep. And I was like, okay. So I showed up, and he grabbed me and he hugged me and he says, "Oh my God, you came." And I was like, "Well, yeah, I said I was gonna." And then he hugs me again and he throws me back. "Oh my God," he says, "you haven't aged in 20 years. And I'm like, "Oh my God, that's right. You're the perfect amount of blind." And then he looks at the bartender. "She drinks free for the rest of the time she's here." And he hugs me again. And then he's like, "Wait, where's Kenny?" I was like, I left him. Well, first of all, he says it's about time. That guy was a loser. I was wondering how long it was going to take you. secondly, does that mean I can sign something tonight? I was like, dude, maybe. He took me around the bar and introduced me to everybody at the bar, introduced me, I've been all over the world, and this is still the coolest chick I've ever met in my whole life. I already said I was spending the night. So then he did kiss me, and, well, it was all over from there.
So he made the first move.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know Bobby. But I think...
No, I don't know him in that way. No, I'm sorry.
No, I mean, when he wanted something, he got it. Whatever it was that he wanted, he got it.
So in the timeline of things, like when you first met him, did he already have a career, or was he trying to build one?
He was, when I first met him, he was still trying to build it. Like, he was doing stuff with his family, and I think he might have done that one that first video he did with his family, and they're all tapping their feet. You know which one I'm talking about?
I think so.
And he's chewing gum.
Oh Lord, I'm playing the blues.
Yeah, that's it.
Because I think that's
because like that was so annoying. Like, why are you chewing gum? Like,
yeah, that's about when I met him too. So it was like he still had his job. He was still going through schooling. So right, and I think he was still working at a restaurant in town here. I think when I knew him back in that day. So at what point? So you said you kept in touch with him over the years, right?
Yeah.
At what point did you realize he was actually a celebrity, a star? When did you realize? When did it hit you the first time?
I think when he gave me all those CDs, and we were sitting there partying in his garage, and he had just come back from Europe, I believe. I think he just did Raw Up, and I asked Jessica, I'm like, so what's it like being with the international superstar? And she just rolled her eyes.
It's just Bobby.
I'm like, okay, all right, well, not that exciting, I guess. Well, I mean, I imagine, I mean, once I got a taste of the world, you know, the blues world, musician life, I can understand, you know, you wonder, they're gone a lot, and, you know, they don't always answer their phone. You wonder what they're doing because they're musicians and they do what they want, and you never know. So I imagine, you know, you got to have a lot of trust, and you have to have thick skin to be with a musician. I'll just put it that way.
So, considering everyone that you've met since meeting Bobby, all the, you know, bumping elbows with this star and that star and whatever, how does that compare to your original plans? Let's say you had not met Bobby or went along with Bobby. How does that compare to what your original plan was?
Well, you see, when I was married, all I did was go to work and come home. My husband and I went out once in a while, and it never ended well. I was working at a factory, 12-hour shifts. My original plan when I was a kid, you know, to be a singer or an actor, I mean, this was the life I wanted. This was the life I like when Bobby and I got together. I was like, this is it. This is what I wanted. Like, you know, bumping elbows and meeting all these famous people and hearing all these stories and being able to write about them. See, the buzz or the newsletter, that was Bobby's idea.
Yep.
Because so funny thing was, okay, there was this lady that he got into it with, and she ran the newspaper. Well, they got into it, right? They had a falling out. And then every time we would try to put anything in the newspaper for the bar, she either paid ads. She either wouldn't put it in, or she would put it in a week after the event. Like, so Bobby's like, you know what? You should just write your own paper. And the first writing I did was actually a one page for him. So I was doing his promotions and like doing his one pages, like he'd come out with an album and I'd write up the whole thing. What he did was he's like, okay, you are really good with words. I know you can write. And he took like, so he had that radio show, right? And like he would get these CDs, these free CDs to play, because when you have a radio show, apparently people want you to play their music and they mail them to you. Well, inside of all these CDs are these one page things that highlight the artist and the album and talk about it, right? He hands me like a dozen of these things and he says, I need you to write one for this album. I was like, what? Yeah, you can do it. He says, I know you can do it. Okay. And prior to that, he had never had any one pages for his albums. I was the one that was calling and setting up phone interviews, magazine interviews, newspaper interviews, radio interviews, and doing all the writing for him. And I just remember feeling like he actually sees my talent. Like he sees what I can do, and like I don't believe this guy. Like he like reminded me who I was.
And you were just a factory worker.
Yeah. Well, factory, fast food, you know.
Yep.
But when I was a kid, I was very creative. I wrote short stories. I sang. I wrote songs. I mean, I was very creative. And then, you know, marriage and kids kind of, and bills kind of took me off that track. Let's put it that way.
And then, so having taken you out of the factory, he's tried to influence you into actually becoming a singer, becoming like even writing your own music and stuff like that, right?
And see, that's okay. So we were sitting partying, like we would go for car rides, or we would like go wherever we were going. And if a song came on that I liked, I'd turn it all the way up if I wanted to sing along with it so he wouldn't hear me. I was nervous about singing around him at first. And one time we were out in the back patio at the bar, and his sister and brother-in-law were sitting there. Robin and Tyrone were sitting there, and they were having this deep conversation, and I kind of had my back to them, and Wanted was on playing on the jukebox, and all I did was Wanted, dead or alive. All of a sudden I realized that the conversation stopped, and Bobby's like, babe, do that again. What? You heard me? Damn it. Okay. So I sang with the song a little more, and at that point he'd had Dewa out here singing with him on stage. He'd had his sister up on stage with him, and I like loved making the whiteboards and advertising for it and everything, you know. And he's like, babe, you can sing. I'm like, shut up. I used to sing. I don't sing anymore. He's like, why not? Like, well, when I was 21, I went to the bar and decided I was going to do karaoke. And I bombed hard, like bad, really bad. And I was like, okay, I'm never going to sing in front of people again. And he's like, well, so what? Everybody has an off day. You just didn't practice enough. Well, a few months after that, my mom passed away. And she had this favorite song, and that I had been practicing for like 2 or 3 years, that I was going to sing to her for her birthday. Because I was broke and I didn't have another gift for her, but she really loved this song. So when I got the news, I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to have to sing it at her funeral then. And both he and my sister, they're both like, you're not going to be able to sing at the funeral. You're not going to be able to sing at the funeral. So And he was so good too. Like, I got the news at like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. My stepdad had called me, like my mom's widower, like not the guy that raised me. Like,
Okay.
anyway, Stacy called me and told me the news, and I don't know if I cried, screamed, what I did, but all of a sudden, I just remember Bobby's arms around me, and he's like, "Did I hear what I just think I heard?" And I said, "Yeah." And he told me I could grieve however I wanted to. If I needed to sleep, sleep. If I wanted to hibernate, then I could do that. If I wanted to drink, then I could drink. If I wanted to sing, then sing. And then I made the comment about singing at Mom's funeral, you know, like a day or two later. And so he got me drunk, put me in the studio, handed me the keyboard for the system, found the backtrack, and said, "Okay, push this when you want to start singing. You push this to play it back. Push this to delete it and start over. Come out when you're done. I know you can't sing in front of me yet." So he kept coming in, filling my cup. And finally I was like, well, it's not going to get any better than that. And he put it on a CD and played it at the funeral.
And so now when we come back, we'll talk about where this could possibly lead, where your dreams are, where they are right now, where you think where you want to go from here. Now, from when you were the 20s, when you're from here, where you want to go from here. That's all coming up next on The Buzz.
When it comes to podcasts and social media, stick with the best. Grand Forks' best source. Keep up to date with local happenings and news, interviews with city leaders, athletes, nonprofits, and of course, lots of feel-good stories. You know, Grand Forks' best source is a great way to advertise your business or events with the most economical ad packages available. And contact us to find out how you can have your own podcast with the best studio in the area. Check out Grand Forks' best source on your favorite social media app. Grand Forks' best source, the Forks' best local podcast. Call 701-213-0863 or online at gfbestsource.com. We love the Forks. Grand Forks' best source, giving the Forks their identity again.
What's up, Red Lake Nation Radio? This is your host, DJ Soko. Come join me if you're Ace or Donnell from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. every Soko Saturday, where I have a new segment, Soko's Metal Madness Hour from 7 to 8 p.m., bringing the North all the new and classic metal to the masses. The first 3 hours will be the old school hits, the rock and roll classics, and all other genres of music. Even country. So come take a cruise with me, DJ Soko, bringing the fire right here on 105.3 WRLN, Red Lake Nation Radio. Yeah.
Pioneer 90.1 is a radio station like none other. Local people get to host their own shows, sharing music not heard on other stations. We partner with area nonprofits to present community events like Riverfest. As a non-commercial service, we rely on listeners like you to help us grow this one-of-a-kind radio station, made just for our community. Thank you for your donation.
Hey everybody. Season 2 of Adulting with Jake is underway, but while you wait, you can always relive Adulting 101 Season 1 and every excruciating detail and every terrible pun, lame joke, and frankly, every poorly acted scene. Out now on our channel, CookingWithJakeShow.com.
Visit LittleBobbyBuzz.com, your source for Little Bobby merch and music. Keep up with the bar, and don't forget about the buzz with Mama T. That's LittleBobbyBuzz.com.
Music maestro.
peace there I found. Sometimes I get high, I get high. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, I get high. Sometimes I get high. Well, I get high. Sometimes, yeah, yeah, I get high. Well, I get high. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, I get high.
Nice. Okay.
So that was filmed in Crookston, and I don't know any of his friends' names, but
Albert.
one. So
That was
it's
Albert. Albert's car.
okay, and then the voice that was in the background, I don't know his name. He was showing us all the sites. Hey, you got to film here, and that's what film here, and he kind of became the ad hoc director.
I thought that was you.
Yeah, that was me, but he kind of got.
Okay, first of all, I got to thank all the viewers. Hi, Ricky. Hi, Justin. And Laddie Boy. So there was this thing that Bobby did. Every time Laddie would show up, Bobby would say, "Don't go changing, try to please me. You never let me down before. Don't imagine you're too familiar, and I don't see you anymore." There you go. There you go, Laddie.
So now that you've been kind of dragged out of your shell a little bit, if Mama T were to create an album, what would your songs be about? Or or do you even have like a thing? I want to write about this, or this is an idea I want to do. Or I always wanted to write about this thing here. What's on your album?
Love Found, Love Lost. It would be kind of like a Nora Jonesy kind of thing. That was one of my mom's favorites. That was my mom's favorite song. One of the Nora Jones songs was my mom's favorite song. It'd be like a cross between Nora Jones and Stevie Nicks. Maybe a little Adele in there. Love Found, Love Lost. Life sucks, but then it gets better. Look on the bright side, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, something like that. I mean, I had started a couple of songs when Bobby and I first got together, and I just I don't know. They're there somewhere. I've got them somewhere, but I got so busy with the bar and promoting him that I'm just gonna let it sit by the wayside. And he did tell me though, you're welcome, laddie. Um, I don't know. I kind of, after he passed away, I did fall back in my shell. I fell back in my shell a little bit. Still doing this. I did stop doing the buzz. Like after he passed away, I did do one more. I'm looking at it right now. You guys can't see this, but I've got. So you know those privacy panels, like they're tall and they've got like 3 sections. Like you see them in old movies where the girl goes behind it and changes her clothes, or they separate like a Japanese thing too. Well, these ones have here. I'm gonna send you a picture of it. These ones have the buzz in them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just send that to you. And you can pop it up if you want. So like I literally have this last one I did like right in front of my face. Whenever I do the show, I see Bobby smiling at me. And here. But I know he wants me to get off my ass and do something. I know.
So what's your first song about?
Lost love.
Do you have a title for it?
No, not yet. I don't have any instruments. I can't really like. I don't have a studio. I don't have a way to see. If you can zoom in on that, that is that one right there on the right hand side. That is the last. That was the last issue. That was the issue where I said goodbye to him. I really miss that guy. But he's always here. He was such a strong presence. It was impossible for everybody to believe he left us. Like it's still hard to believe, but you can still feel he was such a strong presence that like, if anybody follows or has been with us like this whole time, we went to plan the funeral. Me and the family went to plan the funeral, and after that, we went over for a beer. We went to his favorite bar in Thief River, to the Nail, and I went outside with my kid and one of his kids, and we were just standing out there, and I look up in the sky, and these clouds literally looked just like his profile with the hat on, and like he was smoking a cigarette. Like I was like, like in the middle of the conversation, I was like, and they're like, what? I'm like, and they're like, oh my God. And we had to take a picture of it. That was, it was, yeah. Like he is still watching over us. He was there with us. He still is. You know that hat I bought him?
Mm-hmm.
The one that looks like the one that Slash used. It's a top hat and it's got the silver medallions.
Yep.
I bought that for him because Slash was like one of his idols, and when I bought that for him, he told me, "You make sure I get buried with this hat." Well, he got cremated, and the hat went with him.
So in this kind of the new life that you've been kind of given, and all these people you met, are there any friends of his that are now friends of yours on a casual level? Any new people that came along?
Laddie boy.
There you go.
And you know, I never would have met Ricky or Sweetie, Justin, if it wasn't for Bobby. I mean, Dwa, never would have met her if it wasn't for Bobby. Like, most of the people I know here in town, like the ladies over at the bar, Deborah and Denise, Pam too. So Pam actually made a gospel album. She was a lawyer at one point and defended Bobby, and she showed up one day and wanted to record an album, and he did her album for her. And now she just bought a whole section of property here in town, and she's going to have like this art studio and all this. I mean, they're all wonderful people. Like and my life is better because I know them. These are the people. This is the reason I never went to Grand Forks. Went back to Grand Forks because, I mean, yeah, I got kids in Grand Forks, but they can come see me. I can go see them. Small town life is what I grew up with, and yeah, there's the small town gossip, and there's the certain busybodies, and you know, but I'm used to that. I'm used to it, and the time with Bobby, I know which people in town here to avoid.
There you go. So, now that we have the Buzz podcast, in wrapping up, who are we
You
looking
know what? No, who else I would never.
Who?
Well, you see, there used to be this kid. I used to be a supervisor at this fast food restaurant in Thief River Falls. And there was this kid. I swear to God, this kid. Like, I always caught him mopping the floor with dirty, greasy water. Cold, greasy, dirty water.
What a loser. What was he thinking?
Told him, you're just spreading the grease and the dirt around. You gotta get clean water. And I hope at least I taught him how to clean floors. He's way better at all the things he does now, but I hope at least he knows how to mop a floor now because of me.
I certainly hope so. I don't know. It sounds like a terrible person. It's really hard to say.
He wasn't.
Yep.
But I never would have been reconnected with him, and I wouldn't have this podcast if it wasn't for Bobby. So thank you.
Yep. And then let's, if someone wants to become a guest on this show, how do they do that? Because we have these conversations with ourselves, and you know, it'd be nice to have a guest.
So what they do is they go to the Little Bobby Buzz on Facebook. And if they don't have Facebook, they email either you or me, tnelson469@gmail.com, or Jeremy Asp, and you have to spell it right. There's an O in there. JeremyAsp@gmail.com. And we will tell your story. We will tell your story, and we will get your name out there. We are on every podcast platform there is. Or you can obviously go to our website, littlebobbybuzz.com. You can check out our old podcast, see what it's like, see if you want to be a guest. You can check out some of the old newsletters. You can get connected to the bar. And my brilliant producer has all kinds of other projects, and you can get connected with those too.
So, see you next Sunday on the same channel, hopefully with a guest.
Hey, I am a guest. Oh, I mean, a famous guest. A famous guest. That's what you meant. Okay, yeah.
A slightly more famous guest.
All right, Laddie boy, send them over.
Yep. Better see your email
guys
soon.
next week. Love you all. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your viewership. Love you.
Bye.
Today's episode is sponsored in part by Grand Forks Best Source. They're a cutting-edge local media broadcasting studio with captivating shows, on-location event coverage, and unparalleled advertising opportunities. Grand Forks Best Source has become a haven for podcasters like me seeking to bring their visions alive. If you're a podcaster looking for studio or platform, or a local business seeking to advertise, go ahead and email Paul at local@gfbestsource.com. You can call him at 701-740-9337, or you can go to their website that's listed on your screen there, gfbestsource.com. Tell them Mama T sent you.